Peter King from Sports Illustrated. Pete, I just saw where Chris Mortensen tweeted Parcells will remain retired. So what are the Saints going to do for their head coach?
Well, I got a story posting on SI.com any minute, Dan, that will say that the Saints are almost certain now to go in-house instead of going to either Parcells or to Tony Dungy, who was also a name that at least internally had been considered, although Dungy had not been called, and if he had been called, he was going to tell them that he wasn't interested. So there will be no big name for the New Orleans Saints unless somehow they could convince Bill Cowher, which I doubt they would be able to do. And a lot of people have talked about John Gruden. Well, John Gruden is not, after ESPN gives him the booth by himself with Mike Tirico, is not going to then take an interim coaching job for the next 8 months, thereby burning every TV bridge he'd ever have. So it looks like it's going to be Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, Pete Carmichael, the offensive coordinator, Aaron Kromer, the offensive line and running game coach. My leader in the clubhouse would be Kromer, because I don't think that they'd like to take a new defensive coordinator installing a new scheme than the one that Greg Williams ran. I don't think they want to add the additional duties of him being a head coach. They may end up doing that, but I can tell you right now they don't want to.
Anything accomplished with the appeal process by the Saints?
Only that it gained Sean Payton 15 days. Had he not appealed, he would have had to, evacuate his office and had no contact with whoever were going to be the players for this team this year on April 1st. The suspension was effective on April 2. In essence, he gained 2 weeks in the whole process.
The documentary on Steve Gleason, the former Saints player who has ALS, and the audio that was sent to Yahoo Sports, that play any role in hurting the appeal process with the Saints?
I don't think so, Dan. I don't think the release of the audio did anything except possibly ensure that Sean Payton, I don't think there was really, what was there, a 2% chance there was no new evidence to give in this case. And I'm told that no new evidence at his hearing really, other than tangential evidence, was even considered. He'd already had 2 face-to-face meetings with Roger Goodell, so there was nothing that he could do differently. Nothing he could say differently. So, in my opinion, it had nothing to do with what Roger Goodell did.
Greg Williams, with the specifics, the graphic detail of that speech, that I know indefinite suspension. I don't know what indefinite means. Is there any clarification on that? And I know he didn't appeal, but those words still ringing pretty strongly.
That's the thing, Dan. He's going to, I believe that Roger Goodell will give him a path to get back to the NFL at some point. But now the whole question is, how will it be possible to have Greg Williams on your coaching staff when players are going to look at him like this guy who, what they're going to think is, I'm going to go play for a coach who the last coaching job he had, he was telling guys to injure people. That's going to be their interpretation. You can argue about his intent all you want, but their interpretation is going to be that he was, that he was directing his players to hurt players on the other team. So that's going to be difficult, I believe, to basically justify somebody having him on a coaching staff. That isn't to say, though, I think Roger Goodell at some point will allow him to coach again, but you've got to find somebody who's going to hire him.
I know you're busy. I do appreciate you making time today, Peter. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. All the best.
All right, Peter King from Sports Illustrated.